ever felt caught up in the energy of a group, whether it was at a company retreat or a political event, a ball game, or a fan meetup? At their best, groups provide us with a sense of belonging and shared purpose, community. But the psychological dynamics that hold groups together can also blur the line between inspiration and control. From cults to boardrooms, the strategies used to influence collective thinking and behavior reveal some astonishing parallels. So today, we're uncovering the parallels between cult mentality and group thinking, examining how both of them captivate the mind and foster unquestioning unity. Stick around because what you'll discover might just change the way you see the world around you. Humans are social creatures. We're wired to belong to groups. Groups provide connection, safety, identity, and purpose. But they also have a shadow side. On one end, we have cults that demand total loyalty, and on the other, mainstream institutions like workplaces and schools, political parties, or even fan clubs that shape how we think and how we act. Both environments can use powerful psychological strategies to influence behavior, and the overlaps are fascinating. One of the most effective tools in group dynamics is the creation of an us versus them narrative. It's a psychological shortcut that helps bond people over a shared identity, and it's often defined in an opposition to an outsider or a rival. Cults often position themselves as the holders of exclusive truth or wisdom, framing the outside world and sometimes even loved ones as threats to their mission. They might say things like, "We have the truth, they don't." This builds loyalty among members by framing outsiders as a threat to the group's mission or beliefs. Members are encouraged to distrust outsiders and rally around the group's shared identity. This tactic deepens loyalty and ensures that the members feel their survival or purpose depends on the group. For example, a cult might declare, "The world is corrupt, but only we have the key to enlightenment." Members internalize the idea that leaving or questioning the group risks their safety or their salvation. Interestingly, this same tactic shows up more in everyday settings. Consider the competitive language of corporate slogans like, "We're not like other companies, we're the best in the business." Political campaigns often take this even further by painting opponents as dangerous or untrustworthy or evil, creating a clear division between us, the good guys, and them, the bad guys. The need to belong drives people to align their identity with the group and reject alternative perspectives. The emotional drive created by these narratives can foster unity, but it can also suppress critical thinking. When we're busy defending our team or our group against an outside threat, we're less likely to question the group's values or strategies. So here's a red flag to watch out for. When a group frames outsiders as inferior or pushes an "if you're not with us, you're against us" narrative, it's time to stay critical. To resist this dynamic when you're in a group, ask yourself a couple of questions. Is this group encouraging me to think critically about its ideas, or am I pressured to pick a side without question? Also, how does this us versus them narrative affect my decisions about what's right or what's wrong? Now, leaders play a crucial role in uniting and influencing groups. And while strong leadership isn't inherently problematic, charisma can be a double-edged sword because it can inspire action or manipulative loyalty, depending on how it's used. Cults often revolve around a single leader who's positioned as visionary, infallible, or divine. These leaders appeal to the members' emotions, offering hope, purpose, or transformation. And through emotional speeches, storytelling, and promises, they inspire blind devotion and discourage criticism. For example, a cult leader might often say things like, "Only I can help you unlock your potential," instilling a sense of dependency on their guidance. Charisma is a valuable trait in mainstream organizations and institutions too. Charismatic CEOs or political figures often draw people in with eloquent speeches, promises of a better future, and an unshakable sense of confidence. The more powerful the story, the more hypnotic is its effect. And while this can rally groups toward a shared goal, it's worth noting when such leaders discourage questioning or manage dissent through subtle manipulation, that can be a problem. Imagine a manager at your workplace saying, "I know what's best for the company, just follow my lead," without providing opportunities for discussion or input. This creates an echo chamber where the leader's influence can grow unchecked. So, how do you resist charismatic influence? First, observe whether the leader encourages critical thinking or discourages dissent. Then ask yourself, is their promise realistic, or are they solely relying on emotional appeals to gain your loyalty? So, while inspiration isn't inherently bad, it becomes concerning when the leader discourages questioning or dissent. These are hallmarks of manipulation. We'll talk about repetition again. You see the common theme here in these videos, right? Repetition is a time-tested method for embedding messages in our minds. Remember, repetition is how the subconscious mind learns and creates habits of thinking and behaving. So, whether it's chanting mantras in a cult or repeating corporate slogans at a team meeting, reinforcement through repetition ensures that the messages stick and it becomes integrated into our beliefs. In cult environments, there's often included repetitive rituals, chanting, affirmations, communal meals, or group activities that reinforce the leader's message or the group's mission. These strengthen bonds and they blur individual identities within any group. These practices create a sense of unity, but they can also amplify conformity. For example, a cult might chant, "We are the chosen one. We are chosen," during every single group meeting. Over time, this creates a sense of inevitability and deeper emotional commitment to the group's beliefs. Now, mainstream institutions don't shy away from repetition either, though they may use subtler methods. Think of companies with mission statements that are repeated during every staff meeting or internal communications. Maybe political campaigns hammer out the same slogan into every speech and every press release. The rhythm and repetition of these phrases reinforce the core message, making it feel familiar and trustworthy. Corporate retreats, school assemblies, even sporting events also include activities that are ritualistic and create camaraderie and, at times, conformity. Isolation is also a group tactic. Groups gain power when they control the flow of information to their members. By limiting outside perspectives and creating echo chambers, groups can tighten their grip on loyalty and belief. Cults often physically or emotionally isolate members from outsiders to create this dependency. This could mean cutting members off from family or discouraging contact with alternative viewpoints. Controlled environments keep members focused on the group's ideology without influence, challenging, or contradictory information. And while less extreme, isolation also happens in mainstream settings too. A workplace might flood employees with internal messaging while discouraging them from questioning management decisions. Political groups may push members to align with the party line by only consuming select news sources or avoiding outside perspectives. So, how do we resist isolation and information control? First, you need to regularly seek out diverse perspectives, even if they challenge your current beliefs. Second, avoid relying exclusively on one source for opinions or news or guidance. Now, finally, both cults and institutional groups also foster dependency. Cults do this through promises of salvation, while corporate environments frequently do it by rewarding extreme loyalty with promotions or benefits or bonuses, creating a psychological link between group approval and self-worth. When your world becomes limited to one voice, one narrative, or one set of beliefs, it's easier for manipulation to take root. Stay tuned to outside perspectives and become aware of environments that discourage curiosity. Belonging to a group isn't inherently bad. In fact, it's a fundamental human need. However, understanding how groups influence us helps ensure that we're making conscious, informed decisions instead of just following the crowd blindly. So, what are some ways we need to do this? First of all, stay curious. Question narratives that present oversimplified us versus them dynamics. Second, evaluate charisma. Does it inspire accountability and encourage independent thought? Or are rituals and repetition replacing critical discussion and limiting diversity of thought? Trust your instincts. If something feels controlling, it probably is. Third, recognize repetition. Be mindful of how rituals or repeated slogans shape your perceptions. Ask yourself whether they reflect reality or they're more about emotional reinforcement. And fourth, seek balance. Does the group tolerate dissent? Can you ask questions without fear? Spend time outside the group to question its influence on your own beliefs and get other perspectives. Groups can unite, inspire, and amplify voices, but they can also manipulate, isolate, and control. Our need to belong is powerful. By staying aware and asking critical questions, we can harness the benefits of community while preserving our individuality and autonomy. Understanding the psychological strategies at play helps us stay empowered and mindful. So, what do you think? Have you noticed these parallels in your own experiences? Drop your thoughts below. We'd love to hear. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time on Friday as we explore more fascinating insights into the psychology of influence. And share this with all your friends.